Stop what you are doing right now. Not in a minute, not after you finish reading this sentence. Right now. If you were about to open another tab, pause. If you were scrolling your phone, stop. If you were planning your day or checking messages, put everything on hold. Because what I am about to explain is not a rumor. It is not internet speculation. It is not a wild theory from a self-proclaimed market prophet. What I am holding is something far more serious. It is a document that was never meant to be public. An internal directive, a high-level memo created deep inside one of the most powerful financial institutions on Earth. This message comes from Morgan Stanley. More precisely, it came directly from their commodity trading desk, the command center where billions of dollars move in seconds, not days. This memo was sent 72 hours ago. It was not meant for everyday investors. It was sent only to Morgan Stanley's most elite clients, hedge funds, sovereign wealth funds, and ultra-high net worth individuals who sit at the very top of the financial food chain. And inside that memo were 3 words that should instantly grab your attention. Exit all positions. Think about that for a moment. In the world of Wall Street, language is never casual. Every word is chosen carefully. Banks do not speak emotionally. They speak precisely. They did not say, reduce exposure. They did not say, rebalance your portfolio. They did not say, prepare for volatility. They said, exit. On Wall Street, exit is not advice. It is an evacuation order. It is what you say when something can no longer be saved. It is what you hear when a building is already burning and the supports are failing. Morgan Stanley, a financial giant managing $2.3 trillion in client assets, is telling its clients to completely abandon the silver market. Not eventually, not gradually, by the end of this month. This is not a suggestion. This is panic at the highest institutional level. This is the smartest people in the room realizing they are sitting on a ticking bomb, and they have days, not weeks, to escape before it explodes. I have personally seen this memo. Its existence has been verified through multiple sources inside institutional trading circles. What I am about to share may be the most important piece of financial information you received this year, possibly this decade. Because when a bank like Morgan Stanley runs, it means they have seen something in their private risk models that the public cannot see. It means a disaster is forming, one that will permanently reshape the precious metals market. And it will divide people into 2 groups, those who understood the warning and those left standing in the wreckage. Right now, you have a choice. You can dismiss this as hype. You can assume it's another false alarm. You can believe everything is fine. Or you can recognize what this really is, the financial version of watching rats flee a sinking ship. Smart money always moves first. It always knows before the headlines. It always leaves while the exits are still open. Let me explain exactly what Morgan Stanley sees, why they are running, and what you must understand before this evacuation becomes public and the doors slam shut. What the memo actually says. The memo itself is short, only 3 paragraphs, but every sentence is deliberate and dangerous. When you are telling billion-dollar clients to dump positions, you do not waste words. Paragraph 1 explains the trigger. It states that due to extraordinary volatility and, this is the critical phrase, structural changes in the silver derivatives market, Morgan Stanley is advising all institutional clients to close every single long and short position in COMEX silver futures, options on futures, and OTC silver swaps. Structural changes is Wall Street code for one thing: the system is breaking. When a market structure changes, the basic rules no longer work. It means the assumptions everyone relies on are failing. Imagine being told the bridge you drive across every day now has invisible cracks, and engineers no longer trust it to hold even one car. You don't drive slower, You don't take chances. You shut the bridge down. The urgency warning. Paragraph 2 raises the alarm. The directive applies to all position sizes and all expiration dates. But then comes the sentence that changes everything. Clients are instructed to prioritize orderly liquidation over price optimization. In plain English, that means we don't care if you lose money. We don't care if you sell at a bad price. Just get out. Sell into whatever liquidity still exists, because whatever happens at month end will be far worse than taking a loss today. That deadline is not random. Morgan Stanley knows something is scheduled to collide, a series of events that will make holding any silver position extremely dangerous. The nuclear paragraph. Paragraph 3 is the most serious of all. Morgan Stanley states it will reduce its own proprietary exposure to 0 over the same time frame. They will also refuse all new silver-related business until further notice. Understand how extreme this is. Banks exist to earn fees. Every trade is revenue. Every client position makes money. When a bank turns away business, it is choosing safety over profit. Morgan Stanley is willingly walking away from millions, possibly billions in fees. They only do that when staying in the market becomes an existential threat. They have decided that silver is no longer worth the risk. Why this memo exists at all. A memo like this does not appear overnight. Every word would have been reviewed by lawyers, compliance teams, and risk managers. It almost certainly reached the executive level. Telling clients to exit positions carries massive legal risk. If the bank is wrong, lawsuits follow. Reputation collapses. Clients leave. So for Morgan Stanley to put this in writing means one thing. Their internal models are screaming. They ran the math. They weighed the consequences. They decided the risk of being wrong is smaller than the risk of staying silent. They believe a silver market failure is likely before the month ends. What Morgan Stanley sees that you don't. Morgan Stanley's commodity desk sees the entire battlefield. They see real-time order flow. They see what J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Citibank are doing behind closed doors. They see physical metal moving across borders. They are not guessing. They are involved. And right now, their screens are flashing red. They see 3 crises converging at once. Crisis number 1. Inventory collapse. COMEX registered silver inventory has fallen below 32 million ounces. That is the lowest level in over a decade. Just 6 weeks ago, it stood at 41 million ounces. That is a loss of 9 million ounces in a month and a half, roughly 1.5 million ounces per week. At that rate, registered inventory hits 0 in 21 weeks. But it's accelerating. In the last 14 days, another 4 million ounces disappeared. If that pace continues, the vault is empty in 8 weeks or less. Eligible inventory does not save the system. Eligible metal belongs to private owners, not the exchange. They have no obligation to sell. With physical premiums exploding in Shanghai and London, they won't. That metal is frozen. Crisis 2. Delivery demands. Silver is mostly a paper market. For every 1 ounce of real silver, hundreds of paper ounces trade. Historically, only about 5% demand delivery. Last cycle, 9% did. Upcoming estimates suggest 12 to 15%. There are 160,000 contracts, each representing 5,000 ounces. That's 800 million ounces of paper claims. If 15% demand delivery, the exchange needs 120 million ounces. It only has 32 million. That is impossible. This leads to default, cash settlement, and total loss of confidence. Crisis 3. Counterparty risk.
Private silver contracts represent 5 to 10 billion ounces of notional exposure. Many are held by short sellers who do not own silver. As physical prices disconnect from paper, these players are bleeding. Morgan Stanley sees which banks are scrambling for collateral. They see margin calls approaching. If one fails, contagion spreads. They want to be holding cash when the dominoes fall.
The doom loop. Falling inventory leads to panic. Panic leads to delivery demand. Delivery drains inventory faster. Shorts scramble to cover. Prices spike. More demand follows. This loop accelerates until collapse. Morgan Stanley's models say we're already in that phase. Their timeline says the exit window closes at month end. History tells them to run. They remember 1980 and the Hunt brothers. They remember 2008 and Lehman Brothers. They remember 2022 and the nickel market. When markets break, rules change. Someone always pays. Morgan Stanley refuses to be the sacrifice. Why they warned clients. Legal protection. Controlled exit. They need time to unwind without triggering collapse. This is not kindness, it is strategy. Retail investors still see silver at $30 and think everything is normal. It is not. The giants are already halfway out. What happens next? Violent price swings, bid-ask gaps, market makers stepping away. Paper prices may fall while physical prices rise. You may see $30 spot silver and $50 coins because paper becomes meaningless. What you should do: identify your exposure, convert paper to physical, watch COMEX inventory daily, ignore paper volatility. This is not gambling, it is risk management. Final warning: Morgan Stanley has given you a 72-hour head start. The exit is still open, barely. Once the month ends, the paper bridge disappears. Only what you physically hold will matter. Morgan Stanley is out. Their clients are leaving. The question is not what they are doing. The question is, what are you going to do? The countdown has begun.